Hey, Don here. Okay, we're back with another live stream. And, excuse me. Thought besides my throat getting clogged up, I thought I heard myself out of a speaker over that way, and I was like, what the heck? Is it coming out of that camera? You know, my camera that I'm looking at right now? But it just for a second, so I don't know what it was. Okay, so let me, it wasn't my laptop. I got my laptop going where I can monitor everything. So the sound wasn't on just like normal. It starts out muted. Okay. Of course, allergies kick in exactly when you want to talk. But I'm going to go back to work on the, I feel like I'm not turning my head. I got that camera way over there. Well, for one thing, that hopefully helping not do the blinking when it's aimed at me, and especially with that white wall, I think makes it worse. But I also have it set so that I can, pan it around at the back of the server whenever I get ready to take the power supplies out and stuff like that. Trying to plan ahead, But I always want to look. I'm used to having the camera right up there so that I can look at. If I'm looking at my preview, then I'm also looking in the direction of the camera, even though it's always up high, because that's the only place I got over there to put it. But anyway, I have camera one, the one that I have decided. I decided yesterday that I should use it. It's aimed at my monitor, so that whenever I get into BIOS on the server, I can show what I'm doing. It's the only one that'll do it. Or my cameras, all three of my cameras would do it, but that new camera won't do that. I tried it last night. The light just bleaches it out. It can't do it. So I couldn't find. I can't do any settings in the camera anyway, because on USB all the settings are just null and void. They don't work. I found that out by trying to change things and trying to make the colors look better. So I changed the colors in OBS Studios and made them look better, but in the brightness and stuff. But none of the settings that are in OBS Studio could make it work. So that I could find. If there's a way to do it, you'd have to be really good at fine tuning colors and stuff. On my cameras, there's one particular setting that's just for that, and I can do it remotely through the web browser with IP web. I'm streaming with IP webcam, and I can do it from my web browser, so that's really cool. So I can see it in real time and see whether or not it's working. But let's see what I'm going to do first. Had it planned out. No, I can't remember. All that sinus troubles made me forget everything. All right. Let me look at my notes and see. No, it had something to do with my notes. Oh, yeah. Okay. I want to see one more time if I can get into the iLO. So I started out last night. If I can get into the iLO adapter, from my machine here. Let's see. There's still. Oh, there we go. I found my usernames and passwords and stuff, and I couldn't find them yesterday anyway. And I wasn't able to even get it to show up, the login screen to show up. But I went back through my yesterday's video to try to remember what I had done and what I want to do today, and I saw that I hadn't. I kept kind of thinking about it. Well, let's go ahead and get in there and start trying to do it. First, we'll try. First, we'll try getting in there. I was on desktop, right? Okay, so I got to see the. I don't remember the IP actually. Yeah, let's. I'll go ahead and look at my bookmarks. I bookmarked it yesterday. Sold it to be. I set the router to always give it the same IP, so it should work. Let's look in there. Can't find my. There it is. Couldn't find the folder I was looking for. Well, that's the HP sign in site. I found that today actually. That page where you for some. I think they were firmware upgrades. I don't know if they have them. I didn't see any from mine. I don't know if they have them on there or not. I don't know. I think they still may have them, but this is there's the IP of that I gave it. Let's see what it. Secure connection failed. Yeah, I told it. Bad Mac alert. Kind of a weird. This same one I got yesterday. Incorrect message authentication code. Oh. So it blocked it again. So it didn't even come up saying, I told it to go ahead and let me go there yesterday. But I've got the fan going and the windows open tonight. It got so hot last night. But oh no! I saw the error up there on my preview of my stream, and I thought it meant that my stream was down. But then I saw me taking a screenshot. But it's starting to get overheated. The laptop is, so I'm just going to close the browser up there. It just can't play that like it was before. I don't know why. Used to do it for 2 or 3 hours before it would warm up. And I have the 2 windows open in the fan, but it's still 80.4 degrees in here. But it feels 100% better because it is 76 degrees outside, but that's not enough to make it feel better in here. Well, it feels better, like I said, with windows open and the fan blowing. You might be able to hear it in the background, especially when I get on the lapel mics, but I need it. So I did not try what I was trying to say at the beginning there. I didn't try. I saw in my notes and on some of the, I think I might have saw it in one of the manuals I was reading, port 85. I saw it in the BIOS when I was going through the BIOS. Yeah, it doesn't do it. Port 85 it's not port 80 that they're using for that, or that's set in the BIOS. It's port 85. Okay, now I'm going to try. Copy that. I'm going to try it in Firefox developer version, and if it does the same thing, then I'm going to go ahead and see if I can install Firefox ESR. Oh, that's what's on the server. Pretty sure. I mean, not the server, the laptop. Well, it is my web server. That's why it's running all the time. It's my web server right now. Got my website on it. I started talking about that the other day. That's not at all. I've used desktops for years, and that works wonderful. You can set them so that they boot back up when the power comes back on. And for me, that's fine. That's good because I'm going to lose my internet connection until the power comes back on anyway. Your modem's not going to run. Even if I had it on a backup battery, still, there's a junction box for our ISP down the street that I won't go into that long story again, but it has electricity keeping it going. So if our electricity goes out on our block, then, of course, if it was just this street and not, this is kind of around the corner down there, but I think they're on the same transformer as we are. So when our transformer gets blown or our line goes down for whatever reason, I think it's going to go down too most of the time. And so when that's out of my control there. So the laptop, it'll run until the battery goes down, you know. But it's just wearing out the battery, using up battery because I don't have my internet connection if the electricity's out. And if it stays off, if it's longer than the battery lasts, then it doesn't, you know, it shuts down when the battery gets low, but it doesn't start back up when the power comes up. There's no setting in a laptop to do that. That I've looked in 3 of them that I've got. So, okay, same exact thing. I can take the 85 out of there, but it's going to do the same thing. Oh, here we go. This is a new message. Might not support TLS 1.2. Oh. The minimum version supported by Firefox for Developer Edition. Okay. Well, you can enable but you can enable TLS 1.1. Yeah, I kind of thought, well, since this is a Developer Edition, it might, you know, have something for developers, you know, web developers that are trying to get to work on a server to get it to work. So it looks like, we'll see. I did this part right here yesterday in regular Firefox. So. Okay. I tried reviewing the certificate. No, same thing. I don't know if it's sending one out or not. But port 80 is going to be what would go to the website if it was, you know, a normal website port if it was running one. But it's not running an operating system. I'm just trying to get to the iLO, you know. But it sees the thing, so that's encouraging. Okay. Advanced. Oh, I already did that. Okay, I see. It used to open up in a separate page. Now it's opening up in a... Okay, accept the risk and continue. Now it's the exact same error, isn't it? Okay, so... I'm going to look up on the laptop before I go looking around trying to install stuff and all that. Laptop's way up there, so I can't show it to you. It's too fiddly to aim, you know, re-aim. Actually, I don't have I have that on that light for a light bulb, you know, a light tripod, and I don't have. Well, I have some pivot, but it won't stay. The phone and all is too heavy, so you can look at my pretty face while I open up Firefox again and see. I think it is Firefox ESR that just happens to be installed. I don't see anything about ESR. Oh, it's implying updates. It could be a good thing. So I was wondering if it was updating it itself. It is. Maybe it'll start running better. The YouTube changed their code a lot, you know. So I'll just let it sit there and like it is. I don't want to, you know, shut it down or anything. But it doesn't say Firefox ESR on there. So now it says restart to update. And maybe there's Firefox ESR already installed, and I've got, yeah, I do have it running in standalone mode. I see now, because when I do that, I put a Firefox icon on the desktop, and also one up in the toolbar, or whatever it's supposed to be called. So now it's got all the how wonderful Firefox is advertisements. They won't close. And I hear it working. Can't hear it as good as usual because that fan behind me sounds kind of like a model airplane running. I got it on high because I needed it. Okay. I'm sorry about the view. I can't do one. I barely do one thing at a time. I can't do 2 or 3. So okay, it's all working. I'm just going to close the browser again up there. What I was going to do, I thought I already clicked right there. So I'm going to get into DNF. Oh, first you got to wait for the search to come up. And see, Firefox ESR. It's all I've known about it is that it was a lighter weight version of Firefox. And hopefully, it won't take too long to get it up and going here. It can be pretty slow, but I have the machine update itself every day automatically, so it shouldn't take forever, you know, like finding updates. But it does take a while to load everything when you open it up. Let's leave it like that. I think I wrote it on my notes. Make sure. I think I remember something and then I don't a lot these days. But I think I wrote it on my sticky notes last night. But I have to get a magnifying glass to read my sticky notes. So the rate controller is called, actually they call it ACU. So that makes it a little harder to find it in the manual and the instructions and all. I looked through the several different manuals and searched through for different things. There, it's finally coming up. And figured out F9 goes to BIOS or RBSU. That's what they call it, RBSU. I was looking and looking. I saw on the screen, and I saw it in a screenshot I made. Ctrl-S maybe to get you into the RAID or ACU. But yesterday I got confused. Actually, it didn't seem to be doing anything, and then I hit. Well, what I did find out is Ctrl-12 forces the machine to go to Pixie boot, and it was like that. I hope it went away after I shut it down, and today it won't be stuck in Pixie boot, or I'm going to have to go into the boot menus and change that back to normal. So let's go ahead and do what we were here to do. ESR, I believe it is. Let's see. I don't know that names would work. Descriptions, yeah, probably descriptions. Let's see. If that doesn't work, then this is the one that's on there. But this is the older versions. It's not, Fedora 28 is what this is. It's not updating anything but maybe a few security updates here and there. That's why I've got Firefox running in standalone mode. Portable, sort of, but it wouldn't work portably because it still depends on all the bookmarks and everything else from the installed version of Firefox. So does Quantum Developer version. It does the same thing. So they all share the same. I don't know if it uses the same user profile, but it does use this. I guess it does because it's using the bookmarks and not add-ons though. So it's kind of this way and that way. What it shares. Okay, Firefox no script. Well, I think it might be better if I just did Firefox and then see what all comes up. Oh yeah, when you hit enter, it doesn't search. What's that? Firefox 59. And I have 66 installed through the repositories here, and I've got 70 or something. I think is what I've got that I'm running all the time. I don't look like I can get ESR, and I think I already read that Chrome quit supporting the kind of the Java protocol and I was reading on something in the manual, and what long time I think back in 2010. Chrome wouldn't support. I could try it anyway, I guess. But let's see, JavaScript. What's this? No script, JavaScript, white list extension for Firefox. No script, extra protection for Firefox. It allows JavaScript, Java, Flash, and other plugins to be executed only by trusted websites. Oh, okay. Kind of like a browser plugin, isn't it? It's kind of, I guess this is, it's probably what been made for for a while, and I've got IceCat in there. That's another version of Firefox. Ah, it's a fully free fork of Mozilla Firefox ESR. Extensions include this version. Let's see if it's anything about, yeah, the JavaScript trap, spy block, blocks privacy, trackers. Oh, okay. I don't know. It sounds like it wouldn't. I'm going too fast. My mind went off into other things. Let's see. I was trying to scan it while my mind started trailing, and I realized I had no idea what I was looking at. Okay, I think it looks like the only thing okay, there's two versions, 52 and 60. Actually, you might want the older one for it to maybe work with that. Normally, it's just the opposite. And then well, actually, it might not get updated because, I don't know. It would probably get updated to whatever's already in here. If I did start with the older one, I might do that. Let me look and see if there's another. Yeah, it could be quick and easy, or you could get you into a lot of work. I just remembered something. I think I'll install the older one. I don't think it'll hurt me at all, in other ways. So 55 megabytes, no big deal. Oh yeah. Root password. And might not take long at all. If it's going to be real quick, then it shouldn't. But DNF, Yum used to install. It would have been done by something that small in the blink of an eye, literally, maybe two blinks. But this, it took that long to. Okay, it's doing it still though. I mean, it says applying changes to system, but DNF is so rotten slow. Seems like, though, it's a little better than it used to be last year. Yeah, it'll just sit there like that with your little. It's just like watching that stupid hourglass in Windows. But now it reminds me of that little ball spinning for waiting for things to install. Well, it may take a bit for it to finish and say it's done. So I'm going to open developer Firefox up again. Don't think they'll even, hopefully they're not even tied together at all. They'll have its own very own profile folders and everything. Because I've had something like, actually that's one that I have had on my system before. I think it was on this box, but it was running Fedora 23, and I really didn't use it. Although it's not opening right up, so maybe it's because this is working. Let's see what's going on over here. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I've got DNF running, and see, there's more CPU usage here and there. It's not real bad, though. That might be why that Firefox hasn't opened yet. Oh, there it went. I started typing to see, if it was trying to open, and it popped up in front of me. But yeah, it's the machine going a little slow. I wasn't thinking. Now there's all the processes from Firefox. See how many processes it runs? And look at there. 6%, 4% of CPU. And once it gets finished starting up, it'll calm down. It won't be so bad. Get into looks like. Firefox has got to where it's the biggest system resource hog next to Chrome. Well, look at that. It's really still not done doing all this junk. Is that done yet? Nope. No, that's ridiculous. And that happens all the time when I install stuff. I've even downloaded the old couple other package managers, but they don't. Well, they're not being. It's like they're not being kept up. They're outdated. Okay. Let's see if we can. Now, I don't. Oh yeah, I don't have an ad blocker turned on in here. Let's see. What do I have? I don't even have one installed. I don't think. Well, those are, yeah, it's got H.264 and Web Divine. That's not what I was looking for. I was looking for the extensions. Where are my extensions? What have they done? The freaking none of the links take you to your own extensions. They take you to what they want to advertise. That doesn't click. Maybe there's just none in there. I thought there was at least one in there. Like the developer extensions. That's the way it used to be. The Firefox developer came with some developer extensions. I've actually got that in my regular Firefox, but maybe they're doing it different. Evidently, there's none in there. What's that? Oh, that's to install them from a extension file. Okay, so I was thinking that it does say turn off ad blockers to try when you want to try to get to the login page. Now it's doing the same as the other Firefox. Now that I said it's giving that same error. So is this done yet? Running scriptlet IceCat. I don't really understand what's going on. Apply. Why did I click on that? It's already been applied. Yeah, that. Yeah, I'm almost certain. You know, I hope it didn't lock up or something. But as long as that little ball's spinning, I don't believe it's safe to quit and. I can go look and see if the app's installed, but let's see if. See, I know IceCat running. Okay, now Firefox finally shut down. I think IceCat's going to show up as Firefox in there anyway. Now let's see if we have a new entry for IceCat. Yeah, the machine's not running too good. That's why I hesitated to do this yesterday. One of the reasons why I hesitated to. There it is. I'm just going to see if it'll run. Because DNF maybe just. It usually doesn't take that long. Just to install a 55 megabyte application. Import preferences and passwords and all that stuff. I don't want to import anything right now. But it says Chromium, doesn't say anything about regular Firefox. Isn't that weird? Probably wouldn't ever want to do that anyway. I don't even know what's in Chromium. I don't really hardly ever use it. It looks like it's ready to run. Oh, well, this is finally done. Okay, well, let's get out of DNF. Okay, now I'm going to try and go. Oh, here's the block. Okay, we don't want to block the JavaScript. We want that to work. Block privacy trackers, request pages in English, spoof refers. Okay, I don't want to block anything that could stop that right now. If I ever use this for I won't go into any of the rest of the configuration. Let's just see if we get that same error. Unable to connect. Unable to connect. Yeah, the same thing. It thinks it's a malicious site. So, I don't exactly know what I would be able to do anyway. I'll go into advanced right quick. Accept the risk. Okay. That's a lot of stuff about Java, isn't it? I could not use your site. Oh, that's some kind of... What in the world? I don't know. You see, it's an email. It looks like something that would be sent to... I'm thinking it looks like something that would be automatically sent to the developer of the website that they've put in this browser. But, yeah, see, please make your Java free. I don't know what that's about. But it's in about config. I don't remember ever seeing anything like that in Firefox or Chrome. Huh, that's really weird. Let's see this. See if there's anything about... I just typed Java because I thought maybe I could see something about where I could turn it all on and let it go. And this one, to get to that server. But no. Well, everything's... It's enabled, true. I would say that by doing that, I thought I clicked on that. Get that off. Let's try again. Spoof referrers, that might be something. Yeah, it's still the same thing. Okay, so I can't get in there with this, so I'm going to just go get in the BIOS. In the server like I did yesterday, and was making sure that everything was running. Let's open up these. I remember I thought maybe I would go through a couple of these screenshots. I am still on the desktop. Okay. Oh, yeah. So I was trying to think. Ever since I kept trying to remember to do something like this, and I kept forgetting. The video card that I bought, that I'm going to put in this thing, and the reason I went ahead and bought the 750 watt power supplies instead of just trying it on the 460 watt power supplies is because I was afraid it would, push it too hard. And I never did go and figure out, well, how many amps it is, because that's how it's marked on the power supplies, is how many amps the thing can run. So 150 watts is what that video card needs. That's its, I would say it's its maximum. So this is a little calculator. Just type in this stuff and it'll do it for you. And that way you don't have to worry about making mistakes if you're like me with math. My eyes swap letters and numbers, and I mess up anything I try to do, like that. That requires seeing things right. So anyway, the current in amps, 12.5 amps. So that's how many amps it needs out of your power supply. My 750 watt power supplies are 62.5 amps, and on the 12 volt rail. That's how it shows it. It's just 12 volt rail, 62.5, and then there's another one that shows. It doesn't show it in the same way that it does on a consumer power supply. But that is how I do know that's how much it's capable of all the time, not just peak. And so could have showed this one first. But anyway, 750 watts, kilowatts, and all that junk's not in use. So we've got 62.5 amps. Of course, there's 2 CPUs, all the RAM and all that got to run on there too. And I think I'm sure that in all the documentation I have in those PDF files, different manuals and everything, that I could figure that out. You know, how much watts, or it was going to probably tell you in amps, but how much power does the RAM use, and how much RAM I have. You know, I have 64 gigabyte of RAM, and how much does this 6-core CPUs use, and all that stuff. That would actually be probably pretty easy. You could even just go look online probably, but I mean, if you see the manual would be better, because you got to find out what CPUs you got. I'm not going to take the coolers off again to try to read the numbers on the CPUs. You know, I've already redone the heatsink paste on there. So anyway, I think I'm doing really fine now with those power supplies, and I think maybe I'd been all right with the others, but that's fine, because I mean, you can't buy a consumer power supply for $28, and I got 2 750-watt server power supplies for $28, and now those 460s, I've already actually ran across just a comment on, I think, it was when I bought those 750-watt power supplies. Somebody commented, they work great for my, whatever they were using it for, to power their model airplane thing or something. And they said, just jump for these 2 pins together. And I looked on the power supplies when I got them, and they're labeled. And I said, I can do that. I think it's number this and number that, you know, and I saved that. So, because I was wondering how would I figure out how to get them to power up, because I have 2 consumer PC power supplies in an old Dell box, and 2 car amps, and that's my amplifiers for my sound system in here. And I've been using it for years that way, and it's real quiet. You don't ever hear an amp buzz or anything, unless you've got something whacked out. I haven't had troubles with that. Actually, especially when I first built it, I put them together in series. Ground lifted one of them. You have to do that to make it work, and then put them together in series, and then so that I could have. I called it my power supply amp, and I was going to make a video. I never made a video, but I didn't have a camera at the time, and I made a bunch of pictures, and I was going to like talk over a slideshow or something, but I never did it. But it was real sensitive to any kind of noise, and when I did, and then, like, I wanted to use it as a power supply, like plug in a hard drive to it, and with my hard drive adapter, the power supply for it went out, and it'd make you could hear that darn drive, you know, you could hear it spinning up, and it was making a nasty buzz, a hum, more of a hum, and then it would go at the speed of the drive, you know, and after about 30 minutes of that, it'd drive you nuts. And so, and it was really bad when, and if any connector, if there was anything with any noise in it that you plugged into the sound system, you would hear it. So I put it back to being 2 separate power supplies, you know. I put the ground, took the ground lifts. I used some plastic washers to ground lift it, and I took them out and put it back to normal, and used some plastic washers that go on your rack, on an audio rack is what or it would go on your computer rack too. But anyway, you use them in audio racks. I did, and put it back to normal, and so it's, you know, it hasn't given me trouble with getting phantom noises since then. And I just I can't get 24. Well, I wasn't getting quite 24 volts because the power supplies, neither one of them put out a full 12 volts. One of them's close, and the other one's like 11.5 volts. And that one that's 11.5 volts is no good to run a computer anymore anyway. So, but it's fine for the amp, you know. Those amps can run on, I think, anything from 10 volts to 15 volts or something like that, or more. So, what do I got? Oh, and I went through all the different abbreviations. SAS, that's what it has, is SAS drives. And I think a couple of times in my video I got mixed up and called them SCSI drives. But guess what? I was right after all, because I kind of thought that was, they communicate over the SCSI interface. So they're still SCSI drives, even though they call them SAS drives. Serial attached, SCSI, SATA. And this is actually helpful here. Trust, when you're reading the manual, and you want, what are they talking about, you know? these ones here, of course, USB. RBSU, that's a ROM-based setup utility, which I think is what everybody calls the BIOS. Post, power on, self-test. I didn't remember that. I knew that people called, instead of saying boot, they'd say at post. You know, some people would do that, write it up that way. I saw it, I knew what they meant, and then later I came across this. I didn't, PCIX, I don't even remember seeing that. Paying attention to it, I don't remember really seeing it. PCIe, it has that. NVRAM, I knew what non-volatile memory, I knew what that was because of my Texas Instruments ESP430 that I have. It has, it's got FRAM on it. Yeah, FRAM. That's the next one, I think, that came out after non-volatile memory, I think. But anyway, I didn't, NMI, I've never seen that before. IML, Integrated Management Log. I might have seen that letters before. iLO, Integrated Lights Out. That's what iLO stands for. That's the remote management that I was trying to log into just now. FBWC, flashback write cache. So that's what's in the battery on the RAID card is for. DDR double data rate. That's the DDR memory, and then battery pack write cache, BBWC. Well, let's see. Maybe that's the one. I was thinking, I remember Morton talking about flashback write cache. But anyway, ASR, automatic server recovery. And I think that's where you're going when you go into the, I forgot what it is now. I saw it. Anyway, it's not, you can go in there, just like going into the iLO or the BIOS. I forgot what it, I think I was in, I don't know if I was in there yesterday or not, but anyway, that's, and then I made a bunch of screenshots today that I'm not going to go through all them. As I was studying on everything, I was trying to find out the one thing I never found, and that is I wanted to make sure if I saw Ctrl-S and I did it when it was booting, but like I said, it didn't seem to do anything, and then I thought I hit F11, but evidently I hit F12, and I do know that F12 puts it into Pixie Boot to boot on the network, and it was doing that. And but I also got into the RAID setup, the RAID, ACU is the RAID setup. So that's what it's really called for them, for Hewlett Packard, at least at this time, back then, ACU. So, see, learning those acronyms is important, actually, at least getting an idea about them, because if you're not going to see, you know, RAID in the instructions or in the boot screen, you're going to see ACU, you know, and all like that. So anyway, Control-S, and that's actually why I had so much trouble figuring out how to get into the RAID, because I started on that a couple other times. I tried it a bunch the first time I booted it up, you know, and I don't think I ever got in there. But anyway, so now I'm going to go, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to close that. Don't need to have too many things running if I'm not on this machine to look at them anyway. We'll get on the cam 1, and I think before or kind of while, I'm going to open up the browser on the laptop and switch mics. Get on the wireless mic, yeah, because I want to move around. And so now I'll check my audio again, make sure everything is actually working. But I'll use this that camera there whenever I switch over on the KVM switch and boot up the server. Then I'll be able to show it. It's going to be blurry because I don't have good enough cameras, even though I bought a new one. It won't even do it at all. So I'm still using my, so that's all working. I'll check my audio and video. So I'm still using my camera as I've always done since I started doing live videos. Oh yeah, well I'll spin around, show the. I won't try to show the front of it, but I'll show the back of it. Back of the server. You can see the blinky lights and stuff. What do we got on that side? There's nothing plugged in on the other side over there. But I've got it all up and ready. So I'm going to turn him on. And then by the time I get back over here, yeah, I can see that all the indicator lights, that white Ethernet cable, that's the one going into the iLO. But the clip's broken on it, but the light's on, so I can tell it's working. I figured if one of them's going to fall out, well, that's only a Cat 5 and the blue one's Cat 6 too. So, and I've got gigabit routers, so. Now we'll go to cam 1, and then I got to switch over. Oh yeah, it's not going to fit the screen right since I wasn't there. We'll see. Maybe it'll auto adjust. The first time I booted it up, this is probably why. If you don't have it, the KVM switch setting on the machine you boot to, then it won't auto fit the screen right. But maybe since it took so long to post, because it hadn't even started posting yet, it'll end up doing it. If not, I can just turn the monitor off and turn it back on, and it'll auto adjust. I think with the light that time, and it took me 2 or 3 days to realize that's what the problem was. I was trying to fix everything, you know, all the other kind of things you might do in a computer to fix that. I heard the fans kind of spin up, and then I think those. I started to say I thought the fans were noisy again like they were yesterday, and then after they warmed up, they quit making noise. But yeah, it seems like it's going to fit. Okay. What do I need to hit? F10. I can't see the darn thing. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I'm starting about now. You can hit F10. I think F10 is the one I wanted. Yeah, I want to run those utilities. I wasn't going to get into the only reason, I don't remember why I thought about even getting into the iLO right now. Oh yeah, it says right there, Ctrl-S to enter configuration menu. So that would be for the, yeah, that's the RAID configuration. Okay. This time it stayed around long enough for me to be able to read it. But I didn't do that. I don't want to go in there. Okay, F8 to run the option ROM configuration, escape to skip configuration. I don't know why it's stopping for me this time. Maybe I should have hit F8. So there's one thing you gotta answer it. You gotta hit the initial one and then hit it the second time. I think it rebooted. Pixie. It's still stuck in Pixie boot mode. Alright, so don't hit F12 unless you really want Pixie boot mode. Well, I wasn't trying to hit F12 though. I was trying to hit F11. I do remember that. Okay, while it's doing that, it'll reboot in a minute if I don't do anything. Let me look at my notes and see where do I really want to go. I know I want to go into F10, but I guess I gotta hit F8 again. Wait, F9. Oh, I was too slow. I could have got in there. I can't remember seeing how all these letters I was learning. Not a single one of them. All the acronyms, not a single one of them are on that screen. ROM-based setup utility. You know, all that stuff. You got to learn 3 different ways of saying things to get to what the heck they're talking about. Maybe it's just me, but that's what it seems like to me. F9 goes to BIOS or RBSU. Ctrl-S for RAID. I'm pretty sure that's right. I put a question mark by that, but I'm going to take that off of there. And let's just read this again. because it's going faster than I thought it was. You can actually, you can do a lot of different things. You can boot to an ISO, even without iLO. You know, you can do it remotely, but you can also do it on the local machine by putting a, you know, a USB or a CD or whatever you have. And then on the network, you can boot to an ISO. I didn't have my hand on F9. Oh, there, you could either do F9 or F10. I hit 9. Okay, so that's okay because I want to stop it from trying to go into. Let's see what else here. Stop it from trying to go into Pixie Boot. Okay, system options, power management, PCI or Cube, device enable, standard boot order, boot control order, date and time. Okay, I'm gonna go into that one first. System options, serial port options, embedded NICs, advanced memory, USB options, processor, nunlock, power on state, USB, removable flash media boot sequence, USB control, USB enabled, okay, USB 2 enabled, removable flash media, external drive keys first. I know I want USB 2 enabled because I don't have anything that's USB 1 and I don't have anything that's USB 3 either. Enable. Oh, I see. Legacy USB support will also be disabled. iLO 3 virtual devices. This includes virtual CD, floppy, keyboard, and mouse used for remote access. Oh. I still don't understand. Warning, disabling legacy. Oh, I don't want to disable it, so it's enabled. Okay. Right, okay, now I'm beginning to catch on. Oh, okay. Enable for 2.0, removable flash, internal SD card first, internal drive keys first, external drive keys first. Well, I already was booting it to, oh, I see, first. It's not going to skip it. It'll try the external. Yeah, internal, external first, and then the SD last, because I was thinking I might, you know, I have some brand new 128 gigabyte SD cards. I thought, well, maybe I'll use that as my boot drive, you know, but it's not going to be enough. When I set this up for my real system, I've got a 250 gigabyte drive on the Lenovo Y5 that I'm using right now. I'm always having to delete files to keep it from filling up. So I want, you know, I probably want, however I configure those drives, I'm probably going to want at least 1 to 2 gigabytes. I mean, what am I trying to say? I have a 250 gigabyte. I guess I want a terabyte or something. Not, maybe not quite that much. 500 gigabytes to, yeah, maybe a terabyte. So, okay, so I don't want to mess with processor stuff right now. Okay. But numlock is not on. I don't know about a server, but I always turn on numlock in my systems. But no, I haven't noticed the keyboard acting funky though. But maybe I just haven't tried to do anything. Yeah, the light's not on. I'm going to turn it on, and hopefully I won't forget that it's, you know, I got something that makes it go wonky for me. Power management, Power profile. Yeah, I looked in there yesterday. Balanced, yeah. That's why I'm going to leave it. Power regulator. Certain processors support only power state and will always operate at their initial frequency, no matter what power regulation mode. Dynamic, that's what it was already on before. Static low power, static high performance, and OS control modes. I'm going to leave it like that. Redundant power supply, balanced. Oh, okay. High efficiency auto, high efficiency odd supply standby. High efficiency odd supply. So you can have that sounds to me like you could have two different sizes of power supplies. I didn't even think it'd work right if you did that. And then high efficiency even supply standby. I'm not sure what they mean by that. Could be like 1 and 2, so odd is 1, and I don't know what they mean. But I'm going to go with balanced. And then power management. It's in Intel Q-Link. Oh yeah. Maximum processor idle power, maximum memory bus, frequency, memory interleaving, PSI Express Generation 2.0 support. Might end up needing that for this card. Dynamic power, unless that's the older version, I don't know. You know, this card's going to be above that, I would imagine. Dynamic power saving mode, collaborative power, turbo boost optimization. This is all in power. Okay. Yeah, now that I've been in here a while, the fans are ramping up. It does that every time. Intel QPI link. I'm going to leave it in that default one because I don't know. That's usually better to do. When you had something that was set up to run right, you know, run well when you got it. IRQ. Okay, I'm not messing with that. It should all be set automatically, I hope. PCI device enable. Okay, they're all enabled. Standard boot order, CD-ROM. Okay, that hasn't been changed. Floppy, USB, CD-ROM, floppy, USB. Don't have a floppy, but hard drive, C boot controller order. Okay. 5. Embedded HP. I don't know. PCI embedded HP NC382i PCIe. Oh, TP multifunction 1 GB adapter port. I don't know if that means you can put a NVMe drive in the PCIe slot. I saw Morton do that the other day. That's what's made me think of it. That might be what that means. But what's the deal about 1 GB? That's what I'm not quite sure about. At first I thought it says embedded. So I'm thinking it's something, you know, embedded on the board. Usually embedded means that it's not even a plug-in device. It's soldered onto the board, but I'm not going to use that, I don't believe. So boot controller order. Control 1. PCI enabled HP Smart P1. Yeah, okay, that's my RAID card. And there's only one to choose from. Okay, date and time, I set that yesterday. 6/23. Yeah, 6/24, yeah. 06/04/2020. So the battery's fine in it because it was unplugged last night. Server availability. ASR status enabled. ASR timeout 10 minutes. Terminal shutdown enabled. Wake on LAN enabled. Post F1 prompt delayed. Oh, okay. Power button enabled. Automatic power on disabled. Power on delay, no delay. Okay, so that would be fine. Server security, set power on password. No, I don't want that. Network server, disable. Don't want none of that. BIOS serial console and EMS. Auto. 9600 baud. Wonder if it can do any. Oh, am I going to mess with it? That's pretty slow baud rate. I remember that from my dial-up days. MS console disabled. I'm not sure what it is, so I'm not going to enable it. BIOS interface mode auto. Okay. Server asset text. Server info text. No, I don't know what any of that is. Administrator info text. Oh, yeah. I didn't read it. Admin phone number. You can put stuff in there. You can put custom post message. Oh yeah. Well, let's don't do that yet. Be fun though, wouldn't it? No, don't play with stuff yet. Wait till you get it all running good. I've learned from hard experience that don't play with anything until you get the main thing you want done working. You know, sometimes there's an unexpected hardware bug or glitch that you cause by changing some kind of settings, and you think your hardware's not working, or it could be the one. You know, it could be some setting you changed, or it could be your hardware. When you're fixing to put new hardware in, don't play with stuff. Not till after it's working. Restore default system settings. Well, I don't want to do that because erase boot disk, user default options. Okay, I don't really know. I don't want to hit any of that because. Okay, language utility, English, Spanish, German, French, Italian, and Japanese. No Chinese. Okay, even though it's probably made in China. This one might not have been back in 2010. I don't know. Okay, so I didn't see. See, the boot order is still normal, and that's normal. So how am I supposed to get it to quit? There's nothing else in there. How am I supposed to get it to quit trying to boot Pixie Boot every time? I guess maybe it's gonna do that unless it sees something else first. Yeah, it might be the way it is. But I still have a feeling it wasn't doing that before though. So I think hitting F12 caused it. So maybe yeah, I've already been in there. There may be a different place I need to go. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get out of there. Wait. I didn't go to the other side yet. Oh, yeah, SCSI and MAC addresses. Oh, I was thinking you... Well, it just tells the information on the right side about the machine. And if you hit Tab, it'll page it up, page it down, and then page it back up. Kind of different. You know, I thought Tab would put it over there and then you'd use the arrow key, up and down arrow keys, but that's not how this works. But the instructions at the bottom tell you this stuff. That's how I knew what to do. I did change the num lock, didn't I? That shouldn't hurt anything. So I did what I was saying don't do. I'm going to leave the that can screw you up. When the num lock's not on, you expect it to be on, it'll screw you up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that change. F10 to get out. So now it rebooted. Oh yeah, those diagnostics. I still wanted to see the voltage and stuff. That's why I'm messing with it right now still instead of going straight to installing stuff. I wanted to see one of these diagnostic tools that show you the voltage and stuff like that. I think one of them will. And I'm looking at my notes as it reboots to try and figure out, get myself back to knowing what I want to press to make it go where. How did I lose the page that has that? Oh, okay. F9. Okay, that goes to BIOS, RBSU, and that's where I was at just now, I believe. I didn't get the rest of them written down. That's part of my problem. thought I had all but most of them written down. Oh, there's another one. F8 on boot. I think F10 is what I want. And then I guess I think maybe I hit F10 and then I have to hit F8 to continue on. Just read the screen. My notes aren't as complete as I thought they might be. So F10. The server temp is 77 degrees right now. That's pretty good considering it's 82 in here. And Ctrl-S hits the configuration menu. F8. Did I get it in time? I don't know. Okay, we got into... That got into the... I didn't hit S... Well, Control-S, I hit F8, but it went into the RAID controller. And see, it doesn't have those letters. I was saying that it's called ACU. They call it that in the manual, but they don't put it on the screen. It doesn't say RAID either. It says Array P410i. Direct attached storage. Let's see what it says down at the bottom. For more configuration options, use the HP Array Configuration Utility. So I guess you got a little more. Oh, that S10. Well, after I do it enough times, I'll begin to catch on. View log. I don't have any drives or anything. No drives available. Escape. Hit create a logical drive. Then you can do that. You can create a drive. Actually, I guess it's already got an array configured. They're all checked already, all the drives. And it says RAID 50. Your choices are RAID 55, RAID 1.0, and RAID 0. And then the parity group count, which I really don't know. Maybe that's... I'm not sure. I won't start saying. And then use OneDrive as spare. You can do that. That's not selected. Disable 4 GB maximum. Enable 8 GB maximum. Well, I don't want any max. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that should be. Looks like that would make my bigger drives if I put them in there and work. Okay, so now then. Escape to exit. Now let's see what it's going to ask me to do this, if I want to do this time. Maybe you're going to try to F9 setup. Isn't that where I was just at? I think F9 is the... all those other letters, they don't step long enough. I did see the left. I know I don't want F12. I just did F10. Let's see if I can... Now it's trying to do the Pixie boot. If there's anything good about that, at least it gives me time to think. And it keeps on and on rebooting until I get where I want to go without me having to tell it to reboot. Of course, I do know how to hit Control-Alt-Delete. Used to that. I was. Okay, I hit F11 though. It came up with a screen telling you a couple other options. Okay, please choose one of the following boot override options. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, one-time boot, and CD-ROM floppy, USB, all one time. Enter the CD-ROM base utility. Enter the ROM base utility RBSU. Exit boot override menu. Okay, so F11 is like the boot, just like on a lot of machines. F11 will take you to the boot selection menu. I call it boot override. This option allows you to choose a specific boot override option for this boot only. This will not modify your normal boot options. I don't know why they would give you a shortcut key. It says it in the manual. F12 forces Pixie boot, and then it just stays there like that. Okay, so I do want to. I'm going to hit 9. Well, first, let me make sure I was trying to open up my web browser while that was trying to hurry up and do it, but I couldn't do it on the laptop and make sure everything's working. Because I can't just glance over at and see that I have my settings. Like, sometimes I'm going along and all of a sudden I think, I'm on the camera, what am I on? The camera, the desktop, whatever. Am I showing? Yeah, am I showing what I'm supposed to show? So I am. I can see that on my live stream. So, oh, that's funny. It's purple as it can be to me looking at it, but it looks white on the screen there on my live stream. The letters. Anyway, let's see. I'm going to go ROM-based setup utility. I think that's just the RAID setup, but let's go in there and see. So there's more than one way. No, that's the BIOS. RBSU. I guess that's what they just said. So that's where I just went through and looked through everything. So hit escape, and then F10 to get out of there. It all goes by too fast. And trying to look at my notes just makes me miss everything. So no matter what I do, I get mixed up. Don't get what I want. I tried F10 already. If you hit F10, you got more than one option. I'm going to hit F10 again because I think that's... I can't even remember. What did I just hit before? F9, F8, I'm going to hit F10 this time because I know I don't want 11 and 12. And 8 or 9 is the one I hit before to get into where I just left, the RBSU. Yeah, when you make it completely reboot like that, it takes a while, like you just turned it on with the button. Okay. No, that's one good thing about not having anything on the drives. It won't just boot into an operating system every time, and then you got to really wait, to get back to these menus. Yeah, now it's 81.7 in my room, but I'm not dying like I was yesterday because I've got the fan on. The only thing I'm dying from is allergies. And I know that's really bad on the audio, but I can't stop it. With these lapel mics, it really picks it up. Okay, get the little cursor, and then it's get ready to hit something. Yeah, see, it readjusts the monitor. It's like it loses video signal, and then it comes back just long enough for the monitor to readjust and stuff. It does it once or twice during that time there. Okay, I'm going to do F10, and this time I'm going to do Ctrl-S. Now F9 setup, F11 boot, and then, yeah. It's not letting me, it's beeping at me. I hit Ctrl-S and it's beeping at me. I think that's going to take, it's taking me into the RAID setup, looks like. Press Ctrl-S to enter configuration utility. That's up at the top, and then it popped up and said it keeps telling you all these different things to do. Yeah, it goes all the way. F8 to F12 pops up just for a second, but I don't know where it's going to go now. It looks like it ain't going anywhere. Yeah, it's going back to the Pixie boot. Now I can do this. I can hit Control-Alt-Delete. I wonder. I hit Control-S. I did the right control. I wonder if I should have done left control. Sometimes that actually matters in some, systems. But it's harder for me to do that. My hands don't want to do that too well. I'm going to try it the way I was doing it. I'm just going to hit Control-S from the start and see what it does. Just because you don't see it on that initial boot screen, it only shows two things, F9 and F11 at that initial boot screen. So you really do need to know what you're going to hit to go where you want to go. But I'm just trying to get back into that system diagnostics area, and I thought F10 was what took you there, but it's not taking me there. Maybe I got it all mixed up. Yeah, I've got it written down. F10, the system diagnostic info, has 3 separate utilities. That's where I'm trying to get back to. F9 goes to BIOS. That's what I have written down. I said Ctrl-S for RAID, but that didn't get me in there just now. And I guess I better get ready. What am I going to do? Ctrl-S. Yeah. As soon as it gets past this part, I'm just going to hit Ctrl-S and see if it does anything. Like, it keeps telling you to hit that to get, it's the only one that, well, that's the one I thought I did when I got into that diagnostic thing. Okay, that took me into something a little different. Select device to configure. Comprehensive configuration management. Copyright 2000 to 2010, Robcom Corporation. So I guess 2010 is, or maybe 09 is when this was actually manufactured. Because nothing's newer than 2010 that I've seen on this. VCM 570, it's the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 4. I don't know what these are. Looks like it has MAC addresses after it. VCM 5709C. And the numbers are 3 at the beginning, 03, 00, 00, and then it changes to 1, and then it's 04, and then it changes to 1. All the same part number, I think. Or device, number, like the RAID card, it's that 410i. Let's see, enter to go to the next menu. Escape. Well, let's go to the next menu, I guess. The up and down arrow keys aren't working, though. It almost looks like it's locked up. I did keep hitting Control-S over and over and over, and it never did beep at me. It just finally showed this screen. I could have locked it up. Yeah, it's not. It may be locked up. Okay, I'm going to see if escape will work. Yeah, escape worked. Integrated lights out. F8. Okay. That's not actually where I was wanting to go. F8 option ROM configuration. Try it. Pretty sure that's going to be the iLO. I don't know if that took. No, it didn't. It seems to take longer if I hit Control-Alt-Delete and reboot it than it does to just let the Pixie time out, and it'll do it. Let's just leave it alone this time. I think it's quicker than waiting on a full reboot. Well, I'm really confused. Okay, I went to F8, I hit F8, and that made it quit what it was doing. I'm still hitting F8 every time it changes screens just to make sure. No, it didn't do anything. It did say after Pixie Boot goes away, it said F9 or F10. F9 goes into the BIOS. I don't think F10 will do something. I'll hit F10 this time. I don't think F10 is going to do something different in different screens. Yeah, it didn't do anything. Well, it doesn't seem like these letters, I'm going to hit Ctrl-Alt-Delete because it doesn't seem like the keys are working right when it reboots real quick like that from Pixie Boot. So I thought I was getting pretty close. I thought I kind of had it figured out how to get into stuff, but I didn't. Now, yeah, well, that was the one thing I was unsure of how I got there, that diagnostic area. And I kind of thought that the S10 got me there, and maybe it did, because then later I decided, no, I think it's what got me into the RAID. But that's not it. I may have it all written down wrong. Maybe when I watch this video back, I'll see what was actually going on. I'll have time to, I can pause it and figure out what did just happen, what did I do, and what just happened. I'm going to try S10 again because that did take me into that menu that I've never seen before. And I don't know if maybe I just kept on hitting it even though I probably had already started going there, and I might have locked that screen up. But I'm just doing, you could do, it's too hard, my fingers don't want to do it, but so I'm doing right hand on Control and left hand on S. And so I don't doubt it matters which control button you use. I have seen, it's usually in an application, for instance, OBS Studio. I think if you like if you, okay, let's get with it here. There we go. Yeah, see, it was locked up. I think I kept hitting that and it locked it up. So whatever those are, okay, and it says enter to go to the next menu. MBA configuration. Master boot record configuration. iSCSI boot configuration. I don't think iSCSI, that's network booting, so I'm not going to be doing that. MBA, okay. Option ROM enable. Boot protocol. Pre-boot execution environment PXE. Oh, okay. Boot strap type. Auto. Hide. Setup prompt. Disabled. Setup keystroke. Ctrl-S. That's what gets you into here. That's where Ctrl-S takes you, is into here. Banner message 5. Link speed, auto negotiate, pre-boot, wake on LAN enabled, VLAN mode disabled, virtual LAN, virtual ID 0, boot, retract count 0, blink LEDs not blinking. Option ROM enabled, disabled. Hit enter makes it change. Okay, boot protocol, pre-boot execution environment PXE. Remote program load, RPL. Don't know what that is. Bootstrap protocol, boot P. iSCSI. None. Well, I don't want to break anything, so I'd rather keep trying to boot into PXE. I think what it's doing is going through all the previous options and then going to PXE because it didn't see anything. So I'm going to leave it on PXE. Take my own advice and not screw something up by swapping things all around. Okay, enter space, let's see, okay, enter space, scroll value, up and down, entry, escape, quit, menu. Current adapter, primary bus 3, device 00, function 00, Mac, okay. So, escape. I'm going to go into the iSCSI, but I won't do anything. General parameters. I'm not going to go any further into that. Okay, hit escape to get out. Okay, now you can go to the next one. NBA. It has Pixie on it. It's all the same. Number 4. It has Pixie. I don't know what those are really. I don't know why there's 4 of them. It's 4 different master boot records. I mean, I don't really. I've never seen anybody, explain this in all my video watching and studying and reading. So, escape to quit. Get out of there before I mess something up. F8 for configuration. Where is F8? I don't know. I can't keep. Yeah, okay, that's for the RAID setup. F8 is RAID. Okay, now I need to change my notes. I think the best thing to do is Ctrl-S, I guess you could say, is for, I guess you could say boot device, iSCSI, boot parameters, boot, I'm not sure, I'm trying to figure out what I want to write. Devices. MBR, yeah, that'll remember me, hopefully, what I saw. Or iSCSI. Yeah. Okay, and then F8 is for RAID. ACU is what they call it in the manual. Okay. Yeah, writing that down. F9 goes to BIOS or RBSU. I guess I've got that right. F10 it supposedly goes to the diagnostic, but I did not see it going there. Something I do remember one menu where, let's see, I want to get out of here. I'm going to hit Ctrl-Alt-Delete because a full boot, I think, is what it takes to get those menus to do right. Yeah, when you let it sit there and run, and it's not, it's on a screen like that waiting for you to do something, I guess the fans, it defaults back to it don't know what the system's not running to tell what everything's doing, and so it defaults back to full speed ahead on the fans. Okay, F10, F8, F9, Control-S, F10, let's see, what is F11? That's the boot menu, okay. So F10 is the one that I'm still not quite clear. I know I've been in there 3 or 4 times. I swear it took me into the BIOS too. That's what's got me confused, because it seems like 2 different keys are doing the same thing. It might be that the screen is telling you to hit another key, and if you don't, it defaults back to the BIOS, I guess. We'll see. I just realized I could have been on the SM58 this whole time. I'm not up running around ever since I started doing this. It wouldn't be so bad on the sound when I cough. I can turn my head away from the mic. I'll try to change that here in a minute. staying on the lapel mic can be dangerous because sometimes the Wi-Fi stops working right and you lose it. There, F10. Now I'm look at the screens this time. Okay, I don't want Ctrl-S. Now I know where that goes. Going into integrated lights out, that would be F8. Okay, that is the second thing you have to do. But it goes away so fast. Option ROM, configuration F8. F9 setup. Down there at the bottom right, I just now saw that. I think it's fixing to go to Pixie, so you do have to hit a second thing. F10 system maintenance came up. I think I missed it. I finally was able to focus in that long list, and I saw the one in the middle. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to swap back over to do two things. I'm going to get my preview up of the live stream and get back onto my main machine and swap mics. I should have been on the SM58 the whole time. And I kept thinking that my coughing would get better, not worse, but it has not. All right, now I'm back on the SM58. And let me check the stream and make sure everything's okay. I'm sure you've heard enough of that server noise, and you can probably hear the fan running in the room too with those lapels. I'll just listen to the server noise for you. You may hear it on the SM58. I'm not sure. But. Okay, good deal. Still got a good stream. Damn it. I accidentally clicked on the menu and brought down the calendar in the in the laptop, and then I clicked over on the blue bar at the top of Firefox, and instead of it making it active, it made it want to resize it. And I swear I don't really have that trouble in my... Well, that's Debian. That's the only difference. Debian Linux, Debian 8, and this is Fedora 28, but they're both Firefox, and I think they're even the same version. All right, so keep it on that screen there. And go back to server, if I can get there. And so KVM switch is about as old and tired as I am. It doesn't want to stop on the. It don't want to stop on the one you're trying to stop on. I think although the fan's helping, that's why I haven't even run that. That's the first day I've run it this year. Running the fan generally does make my allergies worse, and I have the windows open too. And I didn't have them open last night because it was hot. It was 85 degrees outside last night and humid. It had been raining, I think, earlier that day. Tonight, a while ago, the sun's coming up now, so it's going to warm up, but it was 76. Must be hot, warmer. Well, the sun's beginning to shine on my room. I'm on the side where the morning sun hits, so now it's 81.9 in here, and I'm feeling a bit warmer, and that makes my allergies worse. All of that does. Sure, I hit Ctrl-Alt-Delete to reboot it. Sure, it's taking a long time to reboot. There we go. Okay, F10, and then I got to hit something. I think it's different on each it's a hard sequence of F's to remember for me. Because, you know, like normally each letter would only do one thing, but I think they do different things depending on what sequence of numbers you're in. I think, okay, F10. And I think the one I want after that is F8. I'll wait till I see something come up. Okay, I saw hit F8 to config, F8 and configure. I don't know what I'm configuring. Okay, that got me into iLO. F10 and F8. So you've got to hit two letters, just like I thought. It does not take you into the diagnostic, though. Or does it? It says iLO. Well, before I write on my notes, let's look through this. Set defaults. Network. This is not the regular iLO, I don't think. User. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, network. MAC address, network interface on, IP address, gateway, DNS, DHCP enabled, DNS name. Get out of that. Directory, authentication disabled. Local users enabled. Okay. Yeah. LDAP port 85. Oh. Not. And then LOM object DN, LOM object password. User login, search context. But there's nothing down there. You can change that LOM object password. I don't know what LOM object is. And the LDAP, I remember LDAP directories. I don't remember exactly what LDAP is, so but it's networking stuff. I know that, but server address. And you can put one in there. But authentication is disabled, and you can't change it, so. Oops. Yeah. Can't type in there. I don't know what the deal is with that one, but so I won't mess with it. Okay, user, add, remove, edit. And I already put me one in there. Administrator. Yeah, yes for everything. And then I left some of the other ones that were already there in there. Administrator is yes for everything. Yeah, okay. Now, settings, configure, lots out functionality enabled, iLO ROM based utility enabled, require iLO 3 RBSU login. Oh, it says disabled. Show iLO IP during post enable. You know, now that one that says require iLO login says disabled, and you don't want, well, I couldn't get in there, but you certainly don't want the iLO wide open, but I can't change it here either. So I'm thinking either you can't do it in this, you know, CL, I guess it's, well, I guess they call it CLI. Usually when they say CLI, they mean the command line interface. That's what it stands for. But I do see, I swear I see, you know, computer documentation calling these little, simple graphic user interface is CLI. See, there's another word they used to, another set of initials they used to use that would designate it. I've seen it in the Fedora repos, domain repos, because you used to anyway in Yum you could search and say I only want GUI apps or only want CLI apps, and then there's another one that's slightly different than CLI that tells you that it's a command line program that runs in the command line that has graphics, and that's basically what this is, I think. So, but anyway, okay, I'm going to escape and get out of there, and then CLI, okay, CLI status enabled, auth required. Oh, okay, and then 9600 baud. But it doesn't look like I can change anything. I can only look. There's about integrated lights out. Firmware version 1.15, hardware 4.0, iLO CPLD. Okay, so require iLO 3 login. Yeah, typing, hitting the arrow keys up and down just, takes you through the menu right and left, doesn't change it. Hitting plus and minus doesn't change it. Typing you can't do. So it doesn't seem that I'm able to change anything in here from right here. But now I've done forgot. What did I hit? I hit F10 and then F8 to get in here. But it's like I'm in view only mode. Okay, and you can exit. Are you sure? Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to change my notes to myself yet because I didn't understand all that. I think it's going right back into Pixie Boot. I hit F8, got into there. Okay, now I'm into the drive configuration. So it depends on where you are in the screen. As to what function key takes you where. So you can't just learn the function keys like you do with a desktop. You gotta, if there was a way I could slow down that, the changing, I think there is. I saw one that I thought might do it, but I wasn't sure and I didn't want to mess it up. I need to slow it down, give me time to read these screens. They go too fast for me. Okay. Control the smart delay. Oh yeah, I was in here earlier. This is a regular RAID. This is the RAID setup. And you can look at your licenses. And I don't have any. So, not for the iLO anyway. Not for the RAID, I mean. Which gives you more stuff in iLO from what I understand. For remote setup. iLO does, I guess iLO does more than just let you set up the drives. For the life of me, I cannot figure out how to get into that setup utility again. How I did that. I mean that diagnostic utility. I have it written down as F10. Maybe you hit F10. Oh yeah, I was trying to figure out. It's telling me to do stuff, and I was trying to figure it out. So I guess I would hit F10 and then do something different besides F8. That's what I think I just did. I'm gonna have to reboot it, I think. Well, let's try. I saw the one just now that said F10 for system maintenance. This is it. You have to be in the right screen. What a crazy bunch of crap. I mean, it's not like this helps system administrators, that you got to be smart to work on servers. You got to have a scattered brain that's mixed up. You don't have to have any sense of, like regularity. I don't know how to say it. Maybe I'm just right. Okay, setup utility, inspect utility, and diagnostic utility. Okay, I went to this middle one, inspect utility, yesterday, right before I quit. I'm going to try the diagnostic utility because maybe that'll have something, or what I've been looking for. But it was when it was in that Pixie Boot screen, I saw something come up for a short time that said S10. I don't even remember what all it said because it went by so fast. I was trying to speed read it, and I hit it, and it put me in here. So F10. I don't know if it's a normal boot, like you weren't sitting there waiting to Pixie Boot. If you would hit F10 at the very beginning and then hit it again, I don't know. But anyway, the setup utility, I don't know if that's that might be like the everything setup utility. I'll go in there if I can get back in here again. But first, I'm going to go with the diagnostic. Hit enter. Okay, yeah, memory test. I haven't been in here. CPU test, boot disk test. So, memory tests, I've run mem tests many times, and I've used it to figure out, when I had bad memory blocks in my desktops over the years. Mem test x86 and different ones for Linux-based stuff. Well, there's some DOS-based ones I used long before I got into Linux even. But so I'm going to do CPU tests because I don't have a boot disk. I may punch on it, click on it and enter on it here in a minute. But a memory test, you'd have to let it run with 64 gigabyte of memory, it might run for a day or two to get through it all. So I'll see what the CPU test looks like. Okay, slot proc 1, proc 2. I don't know why they call their slots procs. Let's see. Intel R Xeon R CPU E5649, 2.53 gigahertz. It's E5649. And that's it. There's nothing else to escape to exit. It's not running any. That's the test. Of course, I knew they were working because it's working. I'll do the boot disk test now and just see what it might say. Now, if I had something to boot on in there, that would be fail, no disk present. That's right. Verify boot sector. Okay, it would be verifying the boot sector. Of course, they all fail because there's no boot disk in there. Nothing bootable in it. Okay, now I want to see what memory test. So it still doesn't have. The reason I got the idea I could see voltages and stuff in here is because Morton on that single rack server he had, I think it was a DL380 or something like that. I saw one on Amazon today. I was just looking at something and saw one come up and I was looking back where I bought it and it says no longer available where I bought this server. And I looked down and I said, well, I wonder what's in the related section, and that's when I saw that. I think this was a DL360. It was a 1U with only 4 places for 4 hard drives in it, and looked like a good price. That's why I looked at it. But then I thought, I wouldn't really want that because I want room for more hard drives. But anyway, memory test. I'm gonna hit that. There we go. Normal, pretty much a normal memory test. A little less graphics, maybe. Let's see. Okay, this is actually pretty interesting. It tells you what slots are filled and where it's not. There's only 2 slots that don't have DIMMs in them. Slot 71. Oh, they both say 71. What the? Oh, okay. I saw 1 gig. I was thinking 1 G. I was thinking 1 gig, and then I saw 2, 4. I was like, they can't all be different sizes. But no, they're all 4096 megabyte, which is what I had figured out from I think just looking on the side of one of them or something. I had it wrote down, but this is not like your regular mem test that runs forever looking for bad blocks. Either that or it can do it really fast because it does 64 gigabyte. But no, it's not running. I don't think this is meant to be a full memory test like memtest x86 because it's already done and says okay. This is kind of more like your memory test when the system boots up, I guess. This just lets you look in there. But yeah, it's got. I don't see a way to. Let's say no. It doesn't have like a number to tell you, and I cannot count down lines like that. My eyes just can't do it. I could try like you're putting straight edge up there and very slowly count them, but it's not really of any benefit anyway. Okay, so glad I looked at that. Okay, now did I do? Yeah, I did this. I've done all the tests in here. That's all there are in that diagnostic utility. Okay, so I'll write down F10. Yeah, F10. I believe you hit F10 and then F10 again. Okay, there might be, yeah, there's other utilities. It's 3 separate utilities. I need to figure out where to. Okay, hopefully that'll tell me. I wrote down twice prompts. I didn't have room to, I just had to write it up above it a little bit there. So, that was really a confusing thing trying to, okay, exit. F10 to confirm that you want to get out of there and, yeah, and reboot. Or any other key, that brings you right back. Okay. My eyes are blurry enough that I can't read. It takes me like, it feels like a full second. It's not that long, but it's long enough to focus on the function keys that that I miss the prompts. That makes it even harder. So now I forgot where I wanted to go from here. Oh, I think I want to go back in that section again. Oh, maybe I did run the 3 utilities. I thought there would, no, because I got into that other section that, yeah, I got into that other section that got all the, just the details about the system. But then there was another one, this one, and then another one that I haven't been in yet. I've already taken my allergy medicine enough times. I really don't think I can better take another one until a couple of more hours. Boy, the what I've been taking, decongestant and daytime antihistamine, wasn't doing the job well enough. So especially after I opened the windows, I guess, and then so I took the one that I normally take when I'm going to sleep, but I still took the daytime antihistamine. And, boy, I'm way worse than I expected. Okay. Well, I'm ought to be familiar with this screen. If I'd watch everything, I might learn more about what it's saying. I can't really read the letters on there, except for, like I said before, when they turn blue, then I can read them, but it's done by then. Sea of sensors. Plus, it's all... You got to get ready to punch your keys. Yeah, F9 setup, F11 boot menu. That's all it tells you right there. And then, oh yeah, I think I want to hit F10 again. I already went to the iLO. I must have missed it. Well, that's how I got in there last time, I think. I'm hitting F10, but it's not doing anything. I thought I was watching, but now you can still hit F9. I don't know if it's kind of locking up or what. Oh, it's rebooting. Okay. I saw the F10 for system maintenance, but I don't know if I got it in time. So when you see that long list, starts with F9, and that's when you can hit F10 to go to system maintenance. Actually, I don't know if hitting F10 at the very beginning even matters. I don't know that it's doing me any good. It may be a key that it doesn't recognize at the very beginning. I want to exit the Pixie. I keep hitting it out of instinct. There we go. Now I'm into, yeah, this is it. It finally got me in. I just kept doing it like I always did in Windows or any machine. You just keep hitting the keys you think is the one you want until it does something, beeps at you or goes where you want to go. Setup, diagnostic, inspection. Setup. It's the one I haven't been into, so I'm going to go to setup. Unless it ends up actually takes you to, this is where I've been going over. It's just another way to get into ROM-based setup utility. That's what they call it, which I think is what everybody else calls BIOS. I mean, even in servers, that's what Morton, the server guy, watch all his videos. That's what he calls it. Of course, it may be called. He mostly does IBMs, and that may be what they do call it. Serial port options, virtual serial port. Now, I always went through all this, so we're going to exit. I had escape until it said F10. So, never would have thought just getting into the different utilities here would take longer than anything else. Figuring out how to do it. So, let's see. Okay, I'm going to go into that. This time I'm going to do the same thing and get into that but I'm going to go to inspection and see if anything. I was needing to quit, dying for a break last night, and I was tired, ready to go to bed, so I kind of skimmed through it, and then I got out and took off. So. I guess I'm not going to be able to see any real-time voltage because I really don't think, or if it's in here, I hadn't found it, but I don't think any of my Linux, hardware utilities that I know of can tell you the voltage, of the power supplies and all that stuff. I saw Morton get into on an HP the other day, and that's why I thought I should be able to do it. And I don't think he did it remotely. I think he was doing it remotely. Maybe you can see it in the iLO when you log into the iLO remotely, but not. I've noticed it said in the manual there's some things you can't do in the CLI, on the local machine, but you can do in the remote iLO application. So that might be the thing. But I can see the temperature, 78 degrees, on when it's booting up. And doesn't give you a chance to actually, I'm not sure. I keep kind of hitting F10 every once in a while, and it's bringing up different options, but not the one that says hit F10 to get into. I think it's going into the Pixie again. I saw F8, and see now it beeped at me because I kept hitting there it is. It does not. There we go. It does not come up long enough for you to read. You just need to know what you're going to do before you get there. All right. inspection utility, or inspect utility, is what it says. Okay, system overview, primary boot controller, array configuration, system configuration, PCI device info, system SM BIOS system info, system memory map, IM LDUMP, ISA CMOS data, system EV data. So I'm going to go to the first one. Okay, tells you what it is. HP ProLine DL380 G7 and 65,536 megabyte of memory available. And then the processors, MAC addresses for NIC 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then primary boot controller, PCI embedded HP Smart Array. Oh, okay. And I guess if you had another one in the PCIe one or something, you could select. I see him doing that. He says, "Well, I'm gonna try a different one," and he'll put it in there. Okay, so we'll get out of that. Array configuration info, controller slot embedded, firmware version about 3.52, number of local devices configured 0, system configuration. That's the list of what all set up. Too many things to read off. But it is very helpful. Like I can look back through and make sure I don't see something looks off, Like USB control enabled, USB 2 enabled. And, I did make sure that, well, I just made sure that 2 was on and it was already on, I think. But virtualization technology enabled, hyper-threading options enabled, processor core, disable all cores enabled. Okay. Num lock power on state on. I did change that. Removable flash media. Boot sequence. External drives first. Turbo boost technology enabled. VTD enabled. Option ROM. Loading sequence. Load embedded devices first. Video options. Embedded video primary option. Oh yeah, I never did see that setting again, but I didn't mess with that. Once I guess I should change that before I put in my card so that it will work when I put it in. Make it the first. No, I think, oh yeah, set to the VGA first and the card second. So if I don't have the VGA plugged in, it should go to the card. Yeah, I'll do that for now. That way I can make sure I always get video. Actually, I might want to leave it like that because I'm not going to leave the VGA plugged in when I'm not going to use it. Yeah, because then if for any reason, if I have a video problem, like a driver problem on my video card and it breaks the video, I'll still be able to just plug in the VGA and get back in. On the desktops, I usually always said the PCI card first. They always even used to. That's how I learned to do it. It was recommended to do it that way, and it seemed like it was pretty much the best way to do it. Okay, yeah, so option ROM, video primary, optional video secondary. Yeah, MPS table mode, full table APCI. Fix to say I don't even know what that is, but APCI, let's see. I can't remember what it stands for, but it's standard thing that's been in BIOS for as long as I've been messing with computers, since '98. To do with peripherals and stuff, like PCI cards and stuff like that. ROM selection, use current ROM. NMI debug button enabled. And virtual install disk enabled. PCI bus padding options enabled. Power on logo enabled. Hide option ROM messages enabled. I wonder if turning that on would help me. I know I might put up so many messages it take an hour to boot. Thermal configuration, optimal cooling. Okay. HW prefetcher enabled. Adjacent sector prefetch enabled. I think there's a lot more in here. DCU prefetcher enabled. Let me just kind of skip on down. The ones that I don't even know what they are, there's not really point me reading them out loud, I don't think. Driver write cache disabled. Huh. Thought that was enabled in the part. I was thinking that might not be the same thing as the RAID, you know, the RAID cache with the battery to make sure it can still finish a write. You know, I don't know if that's that or not. I'll leave it alone. Like I said, I'm not going to mess with stuff until I learn for sure what I'm doing. Asset tag protection unlocked. ASR enabled. ASR timeout 10 minutes. Thermal shutdown enabled. Wake on LAN enabled. Post F1 prompt delayed. Okay. Power button enabled. Automatic power on disabled. Power on delay. No delay. BIOS serial console port auto. Okay. BIOS serial console baud rate 96. Yes, I've seen that in other things. EMS console disabled. I don't remember what that is. I think I might have saw that today in the manual before I started my video. Interface mode auto BIOS interface. See, they're calling it BIOS in here instead of RBSU. In fact, I think it says RBSU once you get in there somewhere, maybe. Power profile, balance, power performance. That's why I think I would want to keep it, probably. Power regulator, HP dynamic power savings mode. Redundant power supply mode, balanced. Sounds good to me. That's where it already was. My throat's getting kind of sore. I think I've coughed so much while talking today. Take a cough drop. Maybe that'll kind of help the rest of my problem. Intel QPI link power management enabled. I really don't know what's different about that, what it does, but it was already set that way, and I have Intel Xeon processors, so I figure I better leave it unless I learn something different. Minimum processor idle power state, C6 state. I don't know which one, you know, seen something like that in desktops too, but I don't know what the other ones are or what it would do. Maximum memory bus frequency auto. Okay, now we're at the end of it. Memory interleaving, full interleaving, PCI Express Generation 2.0 support auto. Okay, good. See, I left that alone, and it's exactly the way it should be. Dynamic power savings mode, response fast. Collaborative power control enabled. Turbo boost optimization optimized for performance. Okay, that's really a good rundown on what's set. Okay, PCI device info. Now it's just showing PCIs and addresses and all that stuff. Stuff that I've never had to learn to use. Everything in the system. Wow, that's a long list. I'm just holding it. There we go. I'm just holding down the down arrow key, and it was just rolling along like a video. Okay. SM BIOS system info. I'm going to check my stream again, too. all the pertinent information for the system. Processor type, it says central processor. It said that up above too. Clock, external clock 133, max speed megahertz 4800. Current speed 2533. And it's not changing. I've heard the fans ramp up. Of course, I'm not making it do anything else, but just more and more info that a lot of, most of it I don't really know what to do with it in my head. It doesn't, I don't know enough to, I'm not even reading it, Okay, still got a good stream. Cache information, CPU cache. Max cache 12 megabyte. PCI slot information. Designation, PCIe slot 4, type PCIe. Slot 5, PCIe 6. Thought it might tell you something about what slots can do what's, X8, X4, X8, X16, but I don't see that. It says it on them, on the riser card though, and on the motherboard, the main PCI slots. Total band width bits. I guess that's it right there. 72 data width bits, 64 size of megabyte 4096. Oh, that's memory device. So I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe that's the size of the memory that's in there right now, because that is what's in there for 4096. So I guess that's the. I started to say the data width is how they, what they generally call the speed, but I'm not sure about that anyway. No, it's not, because on down there, speed megahertz 1600 megahertz. The width, data width, I know that's important as to how well it performs. That's all I actually know about it, but I don't know what numbers are good. Looks like it's got this in there for every single memory stick. Yep, I believe so. I guess if you saw one that was off, if you really poured through it, you'd know something. If you have any problems, especially. I believe so. It's still the same. It's just the same information over and over, it looks like. That's pretty good. Because imagine if you buy a used machine like I did, and what if they stuck in something that didn't match, and you wouldn't know why you were having a poor performance, So I'm just kind of glancing at them, seeing if any of them look different. Okay, that was the end of that. ROM information record. Redundant installed 01, redundant 10910, boot block 21810. Server system ID, got some numbers there. Still got more stuff to go see. Memory map. Oh well, I wouldn't know how to. That's kind of stuff you'd see in mem test. Wouldn't know what to make out of that. IML dump. Maintenance node. IML cleared through HPS CMLI time 9:30:10. Severity info only. Error code. Driver array not configured. Severity not fatal. So this looks like an error log. IML dump. I think it's an error log. Wait, it might be power supply failure, chassis type, external storage. General failure. Doesn't have a date on that. Power supply failure. Oh, power supply or power supply unplugged. Bay 1, 12:25:10. Then there's one that says, this is all on the same date though, so I wonder if this is like the first boot or something. And first test and turn up or something. 1794 driver array, accelerator battery charge low. Time 12:25:10, 6:10. Yeah, the one before it was 6:09, then 6:10. Power supply failure. I think it's just because they're unplugged. That's what the other one. It said a power supply failure, and then the one below it said failure or unplugged. And this is where someone was trying to diagnose the failed power problem, and they plug it and unplug it. Network adapter. External storage. Severity critical. Link fault. Oh, okay. That was I missed the error because I skipped over it by accident. Another one. Link fault. Well, there's obviously a whole lot. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom of this and see what's the newest one. So far, it looks like it's still on the same day. 12:25. Oh, this is 2011. Christmas Day, 2011. Somebody's working on Christmas Day. Battery charge is low. It wasn't 12:25, it was 2:25, 2011. I got a feeling, let me hit the end button, see if it'll go. No, thought maybe I could get to the bottom of the whole thing. I got a feeling there's no cursor, no status bar or whatever on the right or anywhere. It's telling you how much more you got left to go. You're just going and going and going. And hitting the end key on the keyboard doesn't bring you down to the bottom or top. I don't know. Let's see. Where's the... Yeah. Home and end. So it doesn't bring you automatically up to the bottom. And scroll lock. There's some other ones that I hardly ever use. Page up, page down. Yeah, page down works. I don't know if it goes that far, but now we're at 2013. Let's go, 2014. That's getting you far enough. Yeah. 2019. Some of these must be, this is driver array not 1785 driver array not configured. It could be that big backup drive. It's not in it. It's not installed, Doesn't even have the, so if they call it the big backup drive. Okay, that's the end of it. 6/4/2020. Okay. Error 055 1785 driver array not configured. Yeah. And that's today. Yeah, so it's up to today. Now, driver array not configured. Yesterday, driver array not configured. Driver array not configured. And then before that is 3/15/19. Driver not configured. well, it's got all the drives in there, but they're not configured. So that's just what that's about. 3319. Let's see. When did I buy it? Okay, I didn't have it in 2019. I had it in. So actually, that's kind of cool. The last time it was booted, 6.3 is yesterday, but that doesn't make sense. It jumps from 3.15.19 driver area not configured to 6.3.2020 driver area not configured. And I bought it earlier this year. Well, I bought it about 10 months ago. Oh, so that was in 19. Did I buy it in 3.19? I bought it about 10 months ago. That 3, 4, I don't know. My head's just getting tired. Maybe that is the first time I booted it up. 3.13 when I first bought it. 3.11, 128.19. Now that's before I would have had it. But it's all just those. There's another one. 128.19. Power supply failure. Power supply unplugged in bay 1. That's before I got it. That could have been. And then it goes to 18 before that. Network adapter. I was just thinking those could be the company that was refurbishing them, renewing them. They call it renewed now. It's not refurbished anymore. That's because everybody knows refurbished stuff is no good. They don't really do anything but look at it, say, oh yeah, I think it'll work. Okay, sell it. Okay, that was the ISA CMOS data. That, I don't know what that is. System EV data. More, I don't know what that is. Okay. So there we go. There is the system. It's ROM-based inspect utility. That's what that is called at the top and the bottom, top of it there. Escape to exit. So F10 to really mean it. Now it'll reboot. I don't think there's anything else in the utilities. This is taking such a painstakingly long time. But for me, it's worth it. I mean, I got to learn what I got to learn to get it, to figure out how to, do what I need to do with the thing. I don't want to jump into putting a brand new hardware in an old machine and not have any idea what might happen and like now I know it's normal state. And I put it in there, and if it doesn't end up booting or doesn't work right or something, I'll have some idea, hopefully, of what to do other than pull the card out and forget it, So, because I did a lot of studying that my ASRock motherboard that I can't remember the model number of it, but it'll take anything from a dual core with DDR2 to an 8 core with DDR3. But, and it's an AMD, talking about AMDs, and I did end up buying a brand new AMD 8300 and putting it in there, and it runs, but it does have problems. I couldn't get the onboard Ethernet to ever work. I put all I had was 100 megabit Ethernet card, and I put that in there to get it on the the network and on the internet. But we got 200 megabits down, so that's silly, I even bought some. I bought 3 or 4 brand new gigabit Ethernet cards, and then I didn't pay enough attention, and I only had one PCIe Express slot in it, and it had to take the video card, and that board doesn't have it does have onboard video, but it's only 256 megabytes. It's just not any good, that way. I started to hit F12 with that's network boot. I still did not see how to. Maybe it's actually not stuck in network boot like I was thinking. I think what it is just nothing to boot to. It's not going there first, I don't think, because it takes too long. And I missed all the menus again. But I'm going to hit, oh, it's in Pixie Boot now. I'm going to hit F9, I think. I was trying to think, is there some, I was looking at my notes, trying to think, do I want to, okay, that's just the regular BIOS, yeah, F9. F10, okay, I sort of figured out how to get in there. F8, RAID, okay. But you really just have to sit there and read the screen and see what, because it's not just one press and then get where you want to go. Because this time it said F9 or F10 came up, and now that brought me into ROM-based setup utility. This is the BIOS. Yeah. Okay, that's where I set the numlocks and all that. Anything in there that I actually need to do. Advanced options. Yeah, there you go. Video options. Advanced ROM option. ROM loading sequence. Warning, changing this option will restore the standard boot order IPL to default settings. Oh, load embedded, load option card device first. Okay, I don't want to mess with that. But that's another section for the boot options that I didn't get into a while ago because I didn't go into it. Just says it's under advanced options. Okay, so yeah, if I have any trouble with the booting, then I need to go to advanced system ROM options. Video options, it is embedded video primary, option no video secondary. And I was thinking what I usually always have done with desktops would be optional video primary, embedded video not disabled, secondary. That's the other option. So I'm going to leave it right where it is because it just, I realized, well, yeah, as long as I don't have the VGA cable connected, it should work. Now, if it doesn't, if I have trouble with getting the video card to work because it's just saying no video, or something, then I'll put it on secondary first and embedded second. But I think this is going to be the way I want it. Thermal service, ID numbers and stuff. Advanced performance, I'm going to leave that. Drive write cache. Enabling it will result in data loss or data corruption if an unexpected power. Oh, I guess that's why it's not on. Okay. Because it was disabled already. Yeah, I saw that in that list. Asset tag protections. Now, I don't know about this. Choosing the lock option will lock protect the asset tag. The asset tag will not be erased if default system settings are stored. I'm guessing that's to do with your stored licenses from HP. I don't know, since I'm not going to have any. It's unlocked, so I'm not going to change it. Advanced system ROM options. Yeah, that's where I was a minute ago. Thermal, optimal cooling, increased cooling. Okay. System default options. Oh yeah, restore default, user default. I'm not going to mess with any of that. Okay. Yeah, standard boot order. That's the order. That's fine. CD-ROM, floppy, USB, hard drive, C boot control order. PCI enable HP NC382i PCIe DP multifunction. Yeah, that's the one. I think you could put like an NVMe, or it wouldn't have been. Of course, those weren't invented back in 2010, but something like that. A flash memory on a flash memory on an PCI card. I think that's what it is. but it says 1 gigabyte adapter port. I don't know if it only would work with 1 gigabyte, then it wouldn't be worth anything then. But nowadays, you know, I don't think it says embedded, but I think it. Well, embedded HP NC382. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if I can find that in the manual, I'll find out what it is. Okay. Boot control order, PCI enabled, HP Smart Array, P410i controller. So that's my RAID card. So that's all good there. And then exit F10. Yes, I really want to exit. Okay. Now I want to get it to where I can shut it down. And can't remember how I did that. Yesterday I got it to, you know, go to standby to where I could shut it down normally. But right now it's just going through the boot, you know, looking for the boot device and then rebooting. Yeah, I don't really want to just hard to shut it down, you know, in the middle of something, since I don't know how it would react. It shouldn't hurt it, I wouldn't think, but definitely want to find out the hard way. But once this comes back up, I'm looking at well, what I think I'm going to do, I'm not going to quit for today yet, but I got to have a break, and I'll get, it'd be a good time to, you know, separate the video. The next one I will, actually, I might want to unplug power supply number 1 and make sure that the other one does work. It shows a green light, but I haven't ran it on it. And then, yeah, then I'll put the new power supplies in it. And then, if that all goes well, I'll put in the new, let me see what I'm gonna, I can't remember how I did it yesterday. Sea of sensors, let's see. I'll go to the boot menu and see if that will let me, F11 boot menu, see if that'll let me get it to a spot where I can just shut it down. It might be a spot where I can shut it down, I don't know. I can always just stick a USB stick in there. Well, that still won't. Well, I could stick a USB stick in there, boot it up to Fedora. I've got that on one of them. And then, I wonder if I hung it up. No, it's just taking its time. And then shut it down with the software. But I did it somehow yesterday. Got it to, you know, go back to the yellow light, and then I was able to, oh, okay, maybe I did that. Okay, this is the boot menu. One-time boot CD-ROM, one-time boot floppy, one-time boot USB drive key, one-time boot to HDD, one-time boot to network. Enter the ROM-based setup utility, RBSU, which is BIOS to the rest of us. Exit boot override menu and continue default boot process. Okay, this option allows you specific boot override option for this boot only. This will not modify your normal boot order. Yeah, and F11 is what most BIOSes already do that. That's cool. Okay, so I'm just going to put Fedora in there right now because I don't want to just hard shut it down and let it boot up. I don't think it takes very long. Let me get over. I'll just go over there and do that. Uh-oh, knock something off. I gotta get it. Was the lid from my USB stick, and if I left it there, I'd roll the chair over it and break it. Okay. Now, good to try this out. I'm already in here anyway, so. Okay, number 3, boot to USB drive key. So in 2010, USB sticks were drive keys. Usually they call them, what people consider the proper name is the USB flash drive. That's what they consider the proper name nowadays, I think. Okay, 3. There we go, Fedora. I don't want to test the media. I know it works. Okay, so go up to the top with the key, with the arrow keys and hit enter. This is why I had so much trouble for 2 or 3 days when I first got it. I couldn't get it to. I didn't realize that the monitor had gotten off of auto fit to screen, you know, and it was not. You couldn't read all the words. Half the screen was, a quarter of the screen was cut off on both sides, I think, or something. So hopefully it's auto adjusting. So I think it'll be fine. It's been doing it all along. Every time the screen kind of goes dark, you'll see the words come up, adjusting. So I don't know how it got turned off. For that, and it stayed turned off for several days. So because I finally went into the monitor settings and saw that it was turned off and turned it back on, and it was fine. You know, I have had that happen before, but and I can see where it might happen if I was using the buttons on the monitor to flip between DVI input and VGA input, but otherwise I don't touch it, you know. And I don't at the time, it seems like I didn't think I had been doing that, but I don't remember for sure now. So I thought I'd be seeing something. Let me hit the arrow key. Yeah, no, there's nothing to be seen. You should be seeing either the boot flash screen or the terminal, but it did quieten down. The fan's quietened way down. That's more like it. So when it's running Fedora, it's going to be pretty quiet unless it gets hot for some reason, or you work it real hard, you know. Now it's not even as near as loud as the fan, the fan in the floor, you know, trying to cool me off. It's 83.7 in here now. Yesterday I was just dying the whole time because I didn't have any windows open. Well, like I said earlier, it's too hot to outside. It was humid and hot. It wouldn't help to open the window. But now with a couple of windows open, not all the way, but about 4 to 10 inches, and fan blowing, kind of help blow that heat out the windows, you know. Well, it's sure. Oh yeah, I think it did that when I booted Fedora before. You think, oh, it's not going to work, and then all of a sudden it does. I guess it's. I don't know. I actually don't know why it's this. You wouldn't think it'd be this slow. It's not usually. Usually you start seeing something right away on the screen with a regular desktop machine or a laptop. But before I was booting it Fedora Live, but I was doing it on an SD card. But I don't have anything with an SD card slot except for one laptop, and it's in my mom's room. She's been using it for a couple of years now. Because that 8-core that I was talking about, I built it once. I got to build it again with a different motherboard for her, and I haven't gotten it done. So that has a regular SD card writer, but I do have a USB to micro SD. That's what I got, the little mini or micro SD for your phones. But I got the full size adapters. But anyway, I wrote Fedora Live Fedora on it, but with that USB adapter. But then there can sometimes be a problem when you do something like that, because the system, when you use the writing applications. I was using the Fedora one, Fedora Media Writer, I think it is. They recognize whether it's an SD card device or a USB device. But they, I don't think it can tell that you got a SD card in a USB adapter. I think it just sees it as a USB device. So it writes some of the files differently to tell the system, or it used to tell the system where to look for that device. And so I don't remember necessarily seeing any errors. Usually you'd see some kind of errors on boot, like can't find SRO this or whatever, and I don't remember doing that. But it wasn't running great, and it did seem a little buggy, like kind of like, and I knew it shouldn't be. But I think that was really, I decided later. I did see signs of video memory being full. I mean, it's only 64 megabytes of onboard video memory, so that's not enough for Fedora 29. It barely would run, and 64 megabytes. It's been a long time since 64 megabytes was enough, for live operating system Fedora or Debian. Well, I don't know if Debian 8 would run good on that, but 6 would. I'm pretty sure. I was checking my stream while this is doing its thing here. Oh, it's completely black because my monitor. Yeah, because there's nothing for my camera to see. Oh, I have to switch to the other machine. I don't want to switch off this monitor, and so I can't get on my machine to switch the screen. Yeah, you can see my head. You want me to raise up so you can see my head? Yeah, I don't want to get off of this monitor and mess up my video set. What I was just talking about. If I'm not on this monitor, I mean, if the KVM port's not on this machine when it comes up, then it won't set the video size right. And that's one of the first thing I thought was wrong before, but it turned out to be the settings in the monitor. But it is taking forever. It's kind of making me wonder if there's something not working. I did put it in the front USB instead of the back. I figured it would work in the front or the back, but some machines it actually won't. They won't boot to the front, but they'll boot to the back. But it quietened down. It's like everything's okay. But I have no video, and I am on the right port. But I have nothing but a black screen. Huh. I don't see why in the world it would take that long to load up. That's the thing. I was kind of thinking when I put it in the front, I thought, now does that? Oh, the other thing is it may need to have been shut down completely before you, boot it to a USB for it to work right. But it quietened down and all that stuff, so I figured, well, it sees it and it's beginning to, it's loading it, but I should be seeing something by now. I'm hitting my arrow keys on the keyboard because that'll wake it up, if the actually, why don't I try the mouse too? Wake it up if it's it could have just went to sleep, and I just saw I was moving the mouse and hitting the space bar, and I just saw a little color. It may just be taking forever long to boot up. Really don't remember for sure, but I thought that it was much faster than this at booting up. Fedora, any of the Fedora systems boots up 10 times faster than this. 3 times. Well, I don't know. I hadn't booted up yet. Pretty, reasonably fast. You start seeing, it may take a while to finish completely booting up, but you'd start seeing either the splash screen or the terminal window. That's why I was hitting the arrow keys, because if you hit an arrow key, it'll bring up the terminal window. And so if there was any problem with the boot splash not working right on this machine or anything, then you'd see the terminal window. But hitting the space bar didn't make it color blink. I moved the mouse and even clicked it. It's not doing that now. Huh. Well, it's not something that, well, I mean, if I was wanting to use a USB stick to install from, then that would be something I would need to figure out. But I'm not anywhere near ready to install yet. But I wanted to get the video card in there, and I was going to run it on a live system before I went to installing and all that stuff, you know. I don't know. I don't know. Something may not be working right. That's what I'm going to think. It might be a video mode problem. Although I don't remember having to, well, you know, used to all the distros would have a bunch of different selections, different types of video settings to help in case it didn't work on that machine, but they don't really put that in there anymore on Fedora because it pretty well works. But then again, that maybe I've forgotten. Maybe I did have to go back and, like, I think if I would have hit, probably just use that up and go down on the arrow keys and you get some other options, or it'll tell you what to do to get other options. I might have had to do that to get it to boot. It's been 10 months. Let me go over there and let's see. Well, I'm going to go ahead and switch back to I'll stop my replay up there. It's going to make that laptop go nuts. Let's see. Going on my main machine. And I guess I'll get on this camera here. So, of course, all you see is the back of the machine, but that's better than... Guess I'll get on this camera here. So, of course, all you see is the back of the machine, but that's better than black screen. Okay, now I'll go on the wireless mics. And I'll go over there and let's look on the front. I think I'm going to just hard shut it down. It's still a green light and it's still blinking like it's being red. It may just be really taking that long to boot up. I didn't want to hard shut it down, but I guess I will. Just holding it until it goes down, I suppose. There you go. And now it went back to a yellow light. It didn't just shut down like a desktop does. But the fans quit. So, Fedora, doesn't say what version, but I'm going to put it in the back and see. Got 2 slots back here, and one's using my mouse and keyboard, and then 2 slots on the front. That's what it's got. And I'll try it one more time. Oh, you got to hit the button to start it up. If it comes up right away, I'll know. Oops, I'm not on it. Okay. Got in a rush and forgot. I mean, I was like, well, sit down, and I was like, well, what have I got to do? How do I do it? At least it boots slow enough. Normal, anytime it boots slow enough to make it back. Okay, so I'm on it this time. Okay, I was last time, but let's see if it does anything different. Last time I used the, I was in I was in the boot menu and I used it that way. So this time I didn't unplug it. It went back to yellow, like standby mode, the front light. I didn't unplug it though, so we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, I was in the boot menu. This time, I didn't unplug it. It went back to yellow. I forgot to switch my camera mode though, didn't I? I was checking my stream and I forgot to switch the camera. Right now there's nothing happening though. So I want to switch to the black. The camera. This is nothing but a black screen. Oh, I see a cursor coming up. Well, now's the time when I can't change it. I can, but I'll mess up the monitor. Yeah, it's readjusting. There we go. We got the HP boot screen now. I think it didn't work right the way I did it, going from... I'm going to try to hurry up and switch now. All I'll lose is the monitor sizing, but since it already saw that, it might be okay. We'll get over here and go back. That's the only thing tricky about doing this kind of thing with this KVM switch. Okay, yeah, so it hasn't got past the initial, boot screen yet to go to the operating system, so maybe it'll be all right. That's the only thing tricky about doing this kind of thing. Yeah. Oh, I could see that it was fitting the screen better. I could see the F9, F11, and F12 on there. Okay, now let's see if it's going to boot to the... Okay, so that boot, you could select different, options. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Now there is a troubleshooting mode, but I'm not going to go in there. There's troubleshooting, inspect this media, and press tab for full configuration options. Well, I'm going to try this again and see if it just sits there forever. Then I'm going to say that it's it is the video, and I need to go into those full configurations and pick a different video mode, because the old 64 megabyte video card may not, on this older machine, may not work. Oh, now we got the command line. Okay, so I think it's probably just going to boot this time. Yeah, that's more like it. I don't know what was wrong before, but there was something wrong. But this is a 2010 machine, and this is this is 2020. So 10 years later, you might have to use different video options. We'll see. So I ended up doing that hard shutdown that I didn't want to do, but it was fine, especially since it was just in the middle of trying to boot to that USB stick. Now, if it does just sits here black again like it did, then it is probably a video option on this that I need to change. A minute ago, well, I was sitting here looking. I'm going to say maybe I missed that terminal readout the first time, but I was sitting here watching it, waiting. I don't think I missed it. It didn't stay up for long, and it doesn't hurt during boot. Once it's in, it's past getting started booting, it doesn't hurt to hit the arrow. I just use the up and down arrows, because all that would do, if it wasn't, like if it's black and you're wondering if something's happening, it won't mess anything up. If you hit enter, it might mess something up, or even sometimes the space bar might kind of whack something out. But up and down is pretty safe. It might give you some readout on the screen, and it might make it kind of slow down trying to read back and tell you, what are you doing, or a lot of times it's usually just some little characters it puts in there, but they don't harm the boot or anything. Well, I really don't want to wait for this right now. It's not what I was wanting to do. I just decided to do it because the only reason I started doing this is because I didn't want to hard shut it down. I thought, oh well, yeah, let's boot it up Fedora. It won't take long. I can see that my video was quite a bit behind there. I put my arms up, I'm stretching, and just now saw it. So if you heard me go grunt, go, oh, them arms come up 30 seconds later or 20 seconds later, then that's audio delay. There's the longer you stream, the more delay you might get on the wireless mic. It's another reason why I don't like to stay on it all the time. It's changing the sound, so it makes me think it's doing something, you know. It's not getting super loud, it's just like, it sounds like it's working. But I'm not seeing anything, so, you know, it could be finished booting, but has no video for me to see because of the video options. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can hit Ctrl-Alt-Delete, reboot it, if it'll do that. It might hang up, and since I've already got in the middle of this, I might go ahead and look in the video options. It doesn't sound to me like it's rebooting though. It's just humming along there at a pretty low rate. Yeah, I don't think it's going to. So, I'm going to go ahead and stop here, go take my break, and then come back and do something about it. Yeah, okay. Take a little look at my... I still have my preview running up there so that I could know what was going on. Okay, so I haven't ever showed the front. That's the back. You can see that good. I haven't showed the front yet, so try to get around here and show it. I mean, I haven't showed it lately, but yeah, here's our green. You know, it's just sitting there with a green light, and there's the 8 drive bays, and then over here behind this, if you had the backplane for it and the drive, you could put in they call it the big backup drive. It's, I think it was something like, I don't remember. Not what's big today though. But so I'm just going to hard shut it down because it's not. I don't think it's going to boot up. See, it just goes to yellow, and then it would be safe to unplug and everything. And but I'm not going to do anything else to it right now. I'm just going to try to set this down, and I don't know, I guess I'll spin it on around here. Yeah. Let's see, get that USB out of there so that I won't wonder what's going on. I didn't know where I was aiming really. But put this on here. Okay, so I'm going to take a break. Do I need to eat? Maybe I'm going to have to eat. I don't know. Might sit here while I'm on my break. I might figure out how long it's been since I ate. And then might have to eat. And then come back and let's see. Yeah, I will actually put the 750 watt power supplies. I might boot it, make it boot to something first. Yeah, I want to boot it to something less like it is. Make sure everything's okay since it didn't boot. I think it's the video. I think I do have to. I guess I forgot you have to set the video options. I remember running Party Magic. It has all those diagnostic tools in it. I don't have that on anything right now, but I could put it on there. Pretty sure it'll boot. I did. I do remember that I was booting it to the SD card inside before. I don't remember whether I do remember trying a USB stick. I think I remember putting it in the front and putting it in the back. That's all I kind of remember. 10 months ago. So maybe I never actually saw it boot to a USB stick. It will. I mean, it's supposed to. That's a USB 2.0, and that it's set to that. I know that. So, but I could put I've got another identical USB stick that I just have some files on right now. I could put part of Magic 2013 on there. I might do that instead of fooling with that, because there's not any diagnostics or anything to show in the Fedora 29. And that might be Fedora 29. I think it's Fedora 29. Sometimes I write stuff on there and it gets rubbed off. Oh, that's the wrong one. But usually I write, oh yeah, Fedora 29. I thought it was Fedora 29 Live, but it could be. Usually if it's net install, it's the other thing I use for installations. Is Fedora. I like to use the net install because you got more options. I usually write it on there if it's something besides, Fedora. Plain Fedora. Well, usually I write, like if it has Mate Desktop, I usually write that on there, but it's not on there. So anyway, and of course I could just put Fedora 32 on there, but I figured we'll just use that because it's there and because I booted it to Fedora 29 before, and I know that works. Okay, as you can see, I'm getting a little tired going in circles. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I probably need to eat, so it might be an hour or two before I get back then. Time I get all that going. All right, so try to unless something goes different than I expect, come back here after a while and